to Suburban Garage. Welcome back to another episode of Suburban Garage. We've had a really busy week this week. Those people who follow the Instagram and the Facebook page will see that I have my own polishing machine now, so I can save a few dollars polishing certain parts of the motorcycle that are alloy and brass, copper, whichever I sort of choose at the time. Now, we are ahead on the budget. We're going really well on the budget compared to the last motorcycle because I managed to secure a lot more bargains, should I say. So what we've done is we've got rid of the old foot pegs this week, and we have got some custom foot pegs out of Hong Kong, some custom alloy billet foot pegs. And they were only $30 with no delivery charges, so they turned up during the week. So I've gone ahead the other night and polished one of the foot peg mounts and installed one of the foot pegs. So we've got one side now that looks old and one side now that looks quite modern and custom with the polished mount. Now, we have got a few things back during the week. I went and picked up the seat the other day. So we've got our seat all nicely finished off. So that's come up really well. So I'm really happy with the seat and the way that he's done it. So he's got a nice stitched, triple stitched part through here in the seat where your bum sits. So no, it's come up really well, and he's put some marine carpet on the bottom, and I've just installed some rubbers. So that's all good to go now, and we've got nylock nuts that go on the bottom. So that's all good. So I'm really happy about that. Old mate over at Cardiff Motor Trimming does an excellent job. So I can certainly recommend him for all your custom parts. We've been playing with the guard this week. I mounted the number plate frame with the LED lights, and I didn't want to have a cable running up the centre for the lights. So what I've done is I've just drilled a hole down here, and I've installed the wiring inside this lip here, which hides it all, and I know there's plenty of room in there for the tyre as well. So we've got that mounted up in here, and we've actually used wire rope grips to hold it in. So when you're a custom guy, things don't look the same as what you usually would use them. So we've just got these little tiny stainless wire rope grips that you can get from Bunnings, and they're only cheap too. So they're stainless, so they won't wear out. So we've installed our cable up the inner side of the guard, and that'll just pop out here, and we'll solder these wires in. So that looks pretty good. So I'm really happy about that. So there's no exposed cable there that you're going to see. So that's just another custom piece that has come up quite well. We've got our chrome exhaust guards back this week, the little heat shields. So we've got two of those, which I picked up from Hamilton Chrome the other day. Once again, totally recommend Hamilton Chrome. They are really, really good. Chroming's not cheap. There's quite a bit of labour and chemicals involved, but mate, when you get the stuff back, it's well worth it. So we've got our exhaust guards back this week too, so we're pretty happy about that. And we also got our rocker cover, our nice polished rocker cover back. So we'll go ahead and fit that this episode and get the gasket back on that, and that should look really cool along with the foot pegs and the other chrome bits and pieces that we've got going. So I'm really happy about that. They've done an excellent job. So Hamilton Chrome do the chroming in Newcastle and polish the aluminium. So any of you guys out there want to get stuff polished or chromed, they aren't the cheapest people around, but they are the only people around really to do the chroming. But as I said, we've got a machine now, so we should be able to do this stuff ourselves and save a few bucks. So just the labour charge itself was about $75 to have that polished, but when you get it home and unwrap it and look at it, it's definitely worth the $75. But if we can do it here at home and save a few more bucks, that's good. So we've got our custom foot pegs, custom alloy machined, and they got the knurling on it for grip. So they're really good. We'll get to that in a minute and I'll show you how that's all panned out, which I'm more than happy with the machine. I did change the grips, took the grips back and changed them because they weren't the right colour really. But now we've got some nice black ones, so we're styling that way, and we'll get to the budget board later in the episode because we are saving some money and we still have got a little bit of money left. So I'm going to go over the bike and see what sort of little bits and pieces we can bling it up and just give it that extra bit of custom look. So that's about it. We've got all of our parts here. We'll go ahead and fit that. I'm really happy with the seat. It's really comfortable. You'll be really happy with it. Let's, I think what we want to do this episode is put the rocker cover back on. We'll polish that other foot peg mount and we'll get that all happening so we've got two blingy foot pegs on. We'll paint the guard next episode because I've got the fuel tank at Ultradint over at Cardiff. George over there at Cardiff at Ultradint pulled the dents out of the fuel tank so I don't have to repair too much. I'll rub that back during the week and we'll have that all prepped and ready for episode 8. We'll paint the tank and get that guard sorted out. So we're looking pretty good. So let's just have a look at some other stuff that we've done during the week too. I've customised one side of the air filter that I showed you before where we want to save that boot. So I'll take you over there now and show you that, and then I'll show you the machine that I've got operating and we'll go from there. So this is our new polishing station in the corner here where I've made the mount out of some structural blue square steel and replaced the grinding wheels with a buff on one side and a cloth buff on one side and a wire buff on the other side. And we've got our safety shield up here and some waxes for the buff to get everything going now. So we're looking pretty good on that. We should save a few dollars, and we've put a bit of time into that during the week and mounted that to the floor. It is a little bit of a messy job, so I've got a leather apron coming this week, a nice cheap, it's decent quality but it's cheap leather apron, so I won't get plastered with wax coming off the buff. But that's our buffing station now, so that looks pretty good. So we're going to save a few dollars, as I said. So this is what our old foot peg looks like before we buffed it up. So it's not very shiny, it's pretty dull, it's got a pretty old hat foot peg on it. So if we move straight over to this side, you'll see that I've buffed this one up with our machine now, which is just like the rocker cover, and fitted a custom alloy billet foot peg to that, so that's going to look the part. That's really going to match the rocker cover, so we're pretty excited about that. So I think now that I can produce this sort of quality work, nice polishing of the foot peg mount, to think that I can do that now in my suburban garage is awesome. I'm so happy to have this machine because I usually have to wait for stuff and I also have to pay them. So now we can get this sort of quality stuff, nice polished foot peg mount. We can do that here at home now, and that is money. Okay, so our foot peg has come up phenomenal from our home machine, and we've got the custom foot peg on there, so that matches the other side now, which looks pretty cool. And I might just bring to our attention that we had a new lounge, but looks like the boss has taken control of it. Reggie, is that your new bed for the night? We've got a black Labrador too, but she's out there somewhere else. Sophie! Here she comes. Oh, there's our workshop dogs. Okay, so now we've just put 4 spark plugs in there too. We've just put 4 brand new spark plugs in there. So what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and put this rocker cover on, and we'll have a look. It's going to look pretty sweet. Okay, so we've got that rocker cover on. That looks really, really nice. We'll have to leave that fuel tank off, and I'll make up a dummy fuel tank so we can fire the bike up when we're ready, just to make sure that there's no oil leaks around it. But it should be good. There shouldn't be a problem. I cleaned all the gasket off and cleaned all the old gasket glue off, and it's nice and rubberised. It wasn't hard and brittle, so we look good that way. But we'll go ahead now and put these on. Should make it look pretty sweet. Okay, we've got both our little chrome guards on down there, our little exhaust guards that we just fitted, and we've put one side of the filter system on, the pod filter that I showed you before. So there's our other chrome exhaust guard. So I've cleaned this up during the week, and we've got one of our filter pods ready to go. So what we're going to do with this one is get it exactly like this, obviously, but we're going to notch these corners out, make a V in it, all corners nice and deep, so we can get that to a round. We'll get that square to a round, so the next filter will fit in there. But we're going to turn them upside down too, because usually they're pointed down, so they're flat at the top, because this little piece clips into the top of the airbox. But as you can see, it slopes downhill, so that's no good for our battery box. So what we're going to do is we're going to just turn it upside down. Okay, we're looking more like a motorcycle now. We've got our grips on. We've got our rocker cover on, we put our plug leads on. Now there is a little bit of a secret to make your cables and everything in your plug leads look nice and new. I'm not sure if everybody knows about it, but I usually spray my motorcycles with tyre shine, and I'll spray the whole thing. I won't do the tyres, of course, because motorcycle, but I will coat the whole bike in tyre shine except the seat. And it just brings out the shine, just like I used to do with the motocross bikes. After you clean them up, spray the whole thing, less the tyres with tyre shine, and the levers, everything just looks brand new again. So we've got our pod filter on this side as well, and our nice flash foot pegs with our polished mounts. We've got to get to the fuel tank, but we'll get to that in the next episode. But it's looking more and more like a motorcycle. Actually, right now it looks like a bit like a drag bike, but it's come along. I'm really happy with it. This is one of the best motorcycles that I've put together. Actually, I'm really liking this one. So what I think we might do now is reface these speedos. Take them from the black, the speedo and the tacho. Take it from the black to the white, and remodernise the noodles. Also, what I've done, if I can get it off, is I've mounted our central processing unit there underneath the seat, and our fuse box tucked away right there, so everything will be hidden under the seat. And I've re-taped a lot of the wiring harness to make it look nice and new, but when the seat goes back on, it'll hide all that, and it looks pretty fitting. So it's a really nice bike so far. I'm really happy with it. I hope you're happy with it too, because once we get this thing on the road, she is definitely going to turn heads. Okay, so we're ready to go. We want to glue these new needles on, and then we're going to give them a paint. So we'll just get this tube. I'm just using super glue, so we'll just get this ready. It doesn't need much, it really only needs a couple of dots because there's no weight on it, and it's not spinning with centrifugal force. Just a dab there. Really only needs just a little bit. Okay. So we've cut our new noodles out of skewers. Just cut the sharp ends off the skewers, and that's really all you need. So we'll just put that one like that. We'll just hold that for a second and it'll glue. It'll glue really well. And there you have it. So we'll just let that glue dry, and then we'll just give them a paint with some of that black paint, make them look like they come from the factory that way, and we'll get rid of them. We'll put them on the bike. Speedo and taco needles here, all nicely painted. They've come up quite well, so I'm pretty happy with those. Look like you could have bought them from the factory. So we're just going to slip them on now, and I have also drilled little holes and moved these little needle stops down further as well to the 0 points before they were up here. So we've moved them down to here with the new faces, so we're looking pretty good. So we'll go ahead and fit them. Okay, so we got our speedo and everything sorted out. All I've done, we'll move to the front, all I've done here is just tape all this up, all the connections and everything, and left the headlight connection and the horn connection out. Now the beautiful thing about this bracket here was where the dual horns were, but we're going to move the horn back under there because we only need one, and I've just drilled the nut out that was in there. But it took a lot of research with the prototype bike with this headlight, but what we've got here, we've just got this nut that undoes, and this spring washer. This come from America, so they know what they're doing over there with custom gear. So this just sits straight on there, just tightens up on that piece. The wiring's pushed back in there, and the actual connection is exactly the same as the one off this light, and it just plugs straight in. You don't get any easier than that. Nice shiny custom headlight. Connects straight in, bolts straight to the bracket that the horn was mounted to. So we haven't got too much left on this front end. We want to cover this in some of that carbon fibre wrap to make it look nice and modern, and also customise that front guard. So we'll get that to that next episode, along with painting the fuel tank and the rear guard. Back to the budget board. We've got everything on there. We're only waiting on our rear view mirrors at the moment, our handlebar mirrors. They're only $40, but we're waiting on them. I've been told they've been shipped. We've added our custom foot pegs to the total here. So the subtotal at the moment is $868.97. We do still have to add our paint and our miscellaneous products over there, so we are just going to scrape it in. it's going to be
That
close.
just about wraps up episode 7. Thanks very much for watching. We've achieved a lot this episode. We'll get a lot more done in the next episode, and we'll take it for a test ride in the following episode, episode 9. We'll have it on the road and we'll have it all finished. It should look really good and it should ride really sweet. I'm really looking forward to it. It's come along really nice. There's lots of shiny stuff on it now with the polished foot peg mounts and the custom foot pegs. I would be sitting on the lounge, but every time I go to sit on it, I've got these two sitting here. I had to shoo them off for the intro to the show the other night, but it's pretty late tonight, so I thought I'd let them just chill out on the lounge. Don't make a habit of it. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you again.